Hello, everyone. This is Brian Anderson here with another episode of our C-Suite Dads newsletter. I am joined by the amazing Harris K. Tay. I have known Harris now for, a year and a half, I think it's been.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
not
he,
longer.
yeah, if not longer. He is an amazing dad, former executive director, current vice president of client success at the Winters Group, and an aspiring executive coach. He has a few more hours to finish up for his official accreditation. And so he is here to share a little bit about his past success in executive leadership and navigating that fine line between professional and personal life. So, Harris, thank you for joining us today.
Hey man, thank you so much. I love the work you're doing with Fathering Together, and I love this opportunity to share, and it's almost this unspoken fraternity of men who are just wondering, how do I do this? And so I'm just glad I have this opportunity to be a part of this.
Awesome, thanks. So I mentioned you're a former executive director. Can you share a
Mhm.
little bit about what you were doing and how you made sure to create space for your family as a leader there?
Wow. So interestingly enough, I was a young exec. I was 28 when I took over. I was at the Wesley Community Center in Dayton, Ohio, and at the time, I was just getting married. So in my tenure there, I got married, bought a home, had my first child. So three of the most stressful things that you can do, like in life,
Yeah.
beautiful things, but stressful, and starting a new job all at once. So, so that in and of itself, there was such a huge shift from having my own time to now really, and it was community center, so nonprofit community organizing. So I couldn't go anywhere without it being about the business. I have to talk about the business. I have to. This person could be a potential donor. So it was hard. It was hard for my new wife because she's an introvert. Um, at that point in time, I was an extrovert. That has thus changed over the years. And I was spread extremely thin. Um, and one unique thing about that position is a couple organizations had lost their financial status, and my organization was the smallest of these kind of three organizations who provided primary service in that community. So when those two organizations went down, my organization in some ways became the hub for funding on that side of town. So at 28 years old, I became a gatekeeper. First I was this young kid who doesn't know anything, and now I'm Mr. Tay. So a lot of lessons learned as it pertains to the politics of the dollar. A lot of lessons learned about being able to split yourself between the work that you have to do, with commissions and United Way versus still needing to have a presence in the community if you want to be taken seriously.
Sure.
So it was a lot. It was a lot.
And I feel like a lot of the times when we're in these leadership positions, we have a work family that we need to care for in terms of making payroll, in terms of making sure that we're living up to the expectations they have of us as supervisors, even though we have our expectations of them as our staff. And then you have this, human personal family that has a whole separate set of obligations and responsibilities. And so now in this new role as a vice president, it's a very different role than back in the day as the executive director. How have you taken those lessons from your old job and found a balance or an integration of your of those expectations? Yeah.
Pacing is a big is really big for me. One thing that I did learn in my early years as an executive director, it became more apparent as time went on. I did discover that I had ADHD, and that was a huge eye opener. It explained a whole lot. And I don't know if part of my coaching, I want my specialization is coaching one, young coaches, young executives, but then two, coaches who are managing non-visible disabilities, so ADHD, autism. Um, Knowing yourself is essential to really survival. A lot of people burn out because um, either they don't understand how to engage the outside forces enough, or they're too connected. A lot of people with ADHD have a tendency to be empathic, very highly empathic, heavy feelers. And when something goes wrong, God forbid, you miss a payroll because the check didn't come in. They take that on personal. It's a heavy weight on a person's spirit. So to answer the question, currently as a VP, uh, pacing is extremely important because at the end of the day, especially having young children, my children currently are 5 and 8. I'll never get this time back. And every professional that I've met, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is enjoy this time because it changes. You'll never get it back. And when you think about all the stress that comes along with being a VP and exec, um, you don't want to miss out on probably the purest loving experience you'll have in your life. A child's love is just it's a different kind of pure.
Yeah.
So I find it interesting when I see my young managers. I'm 39 now. My young managers who they just no kids, no family. They just devote every living moment to their job, and I'm saying, I want you to watch that. I want you to watch that because I don't want you to get hit the wall like I hit the wall.
Yeah.
So my advice is really it's about pacing. I don't talk about balance because I don't believe I don't know anyone that's been balanced, but I do believe that you can find a cadence, you can find a rhythm, and once you find a cadence that works for you and your family, and of course it's going to adjust, but find that cadence that works where you have enough of a peace with your way of living, that you don't feel that your job is soul sucking. And yeah, I'll say this one last thing. Working in the diversity and inclusion field, especially currently, right now, what's going on is they're calling it the Great Resignation, and it's specifically hitting the diversity and inclusion field because there was a lot of hiring going on, with everything that's going on with George Floyd, the murder of George Floyd. And so a lot of companies were saying, yeah, we need a DNI, we need DNI. And a lot of those companies wanted a DNI, but they weren't ready to actually change.
Sure.
And as a leader who is expected to come in and make a change with something as thick, as deep, as rich as diversity and inclusion work, it can be very stressful, extremely stressful. So yeah, so with that, just being able to find that rhythm, that cadence is the way to go.
Nice. I like that. Yeah, pacing and cadence. Something I definitely learned the hard way in my undergrad, but younger years. Yes, in my 20s, when I was juggling a lot as a director. So appreciate that reminder. If someone's interested in working with you, what's the best way to connect? What are you looking for in people who need to be coached or want to be coached?
I work really well with helping people that live in multiple worlds, and that multiple world existence is a major part of their identity. So I would say that has grown naturally into being my sweet spot. So if you're interested in coaching, you can actually check out Align Performance. So that's alignp.com, and that's where I'll be doing my coaching. I'm also a IDI, Intercultural Development Inventory proctor. So if your organization is looking to kind of find out where you are as it pertains to intercultural awareness, I would say the reason why my work with that organization stands out is because the coaching element is an essential element of that D&I training. Please send a message, and I'd love to connect with you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Harris, for being with us. Thank you all for watching this week, and we'll be back next week with even more. Have a great day, everybody.
Take care.